What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are doing another client testimonial. One of our clients, Jared, just wrapped up his time inside of the Physique Lab coaching program, and he is down 54 pounds in a 6-month period. I'll go ahead and put his transformation photos down below so you guys can see exactly what that looked like for yourselves. Before we get into all that Jared has to say about the coaching program, I do want to make you aware of two quick things. The first one is that if you're interested in learning how we get clients like Jared such amazing results, we do have a video that explains the program in excruciating detail. So I will put the thumbnail down below so you know what to look for when you head over to my page, but I'll also put it as a time card up there, and I'll link it down in the video description below. So either click up there or click down below. And the second thing is that I will also link my calendar down below. So if you want to chat directly with me or one of my amazing assistant coaches about how we can help you on your weight loss journey, that is going to be the best way to do it. But without further ado, let's get into the video and hear all that Jared has to say. What is going on, Jared? How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a good day.
Amen to that. Blessed and highly favored. Any day above ground is a good day. But yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to share all about your experience inside of the Physique Lab coaching program. I really do appreciate you taking the time to do it, but then also just being a client and an amazing success story over the last 6 months. So since people don't necessarily know that much about you, what you've achieved, etc., why don't we start with this? Like, where were you 6 months ago before you started the program? And now having gone through it, where are you now?
So 6 months ago, as far as my fitness level or my weight, I was bouncing between like 335 and 345 at any given week. I would take an easy, quick swing up 10 pounds, down 10 pounds, just no consistency. I would get started with something and be, in my mind, good about exercising, push myself too hard, doing things that weren't really productive at all until I hurt myself for a couple days. And then I'm like, oh, I need to stop because I need to heal up. And then I would just keep on eating, just bad relationship with food and with working out and having some idea of what to do, but not really knowing the right way to do it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And then now that you've gone through it, like, where are you now? Tell everybody what the big end result has been.
Uh, the end result so far is I'm in the low 280s. Um, it's never a linear process. It's a game of
Yep.
averages. So I'm right around 283, 284 at the moment. Expecting to keep on going further from there though, to keep on cruising my way down to get to where I want to be. But
Yeah.
it's been great. I've been not just losing the weight, but also having a better idea of how to do some of the exercises and which things can work and don't work for me and what I can physically handle without overdoing it. So that's been
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely. I'm a big numbers nerd, and just for like proof, I know if anybody's going to come at me in the comments, I pulled before we hopped on the call, and I think when we started, you were at 333, or yeah, 338, sorry, 338.0, and then the lowest low I saw as of the last week was 283.9, but yeah, it fluctuates around there. So
Yeah.
54.1 pounds, but I know you'd also lost some weight prior to the program as well, right? So there's an even
Yeah.
bigger total. You got the snowball rolling on your own and then joined the Physique Lab, and we helped you carry that on.
Yeah, absolutely. Last January, I was realized that my clothes weren't fitting right. I needed to do something. I started trying to diet and exercise, and I wasn't doing it necessarily the right way. I was super restrictive of my calories. I saw what felt like some quick results there, and I said after 2 or 3 weeks of that, I stepped on a scale, and I was at 358. So
Hmm.
I'm sure before that I was up that probably mid 360s or up to even 370. And
Oh,
so
wow.
from last year to now, it's a huge change.
Yeah. Pushing like almost 80, 90 pounds down. So let's go, baby.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, man. Like, what would you say is the biggest result that we've achieved together? Would you say it's the fact that the scale is where it is now? Is it the fact that, like you were describing earlier, you've been able to learn how to handle these exercises with your body? Maybe something on the nutrition front? I guess, like, what's the biggest thing that we've achieved together?
The biggest thing, if I had to do it, it's might be a little cheesy to say, but it's been basically I've achieved, I believe, is a like change in my various relationships.
Mm,
So that would be like my relationship with food. Through the whole process and talking to you and seeing the things that you share within the group and talk about, I was able to identify some areas where I wasn't having healthy relationships with food. I was turning to food at times to fulfill dopamine needs in my brain that was telling me I need this stuff. And so I would binge and then I would cut back and binge and cut back. And if it wasn't food, it was other things too that I was just seeking out for something to try to figure out to fill a hole or a space there. That has improved greatly my relationship with food, with exercise. Instead of pushing myself so hard, thinking I used to be able to do this, so I can do it again, and pushing, I decided to follow the plan that you guys helped design for me.
Yeah.
Was able to not overdo it, but still see and feel growth and change throughout the process. And even my relationship with my fiance has improved throughout this time too, bringing out new levels of honesty and communication between us. Just um, kind of forced myself to come to terms with, like I said before, my relationship with different things, and that has in turn spiraled into so many other ways in my life. It's been great.
Let's go. That's not cheesy at all, brother. That's why we do what we do at the Physique Lab, because I often say around here, it's not just about the fitness. It's so much more than that. It's about
Yeah,
building you up as in terms of your faith, but then building you up as a leader as well. So that way, as you enter
yeah,
into this marriage, like, dude, you're gonna be full blown man of God. So let's go. That gets me so excited. Let's rewind all the way to 6 months ago, man, though. Like, what was
yeah.
it that made you want to sign up in the first place, especially after doing some stuff on your own? You were seeing some quick wins. I feel like sometimes guys will convince themselves that they can do it on their own and then they try for 6 months on their own. So what made you sign up in the first place?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what happened. I in the past I've had times where I did lose significant amount of weight, um, and then I ended up having an injury and hurt my knee. Had multiple surgeries and gained all I lost back plus more. And since then, it's just been kind of a back and forth. I would kind of go down a little bit, get down like maybe low 300s and pull back up again, and then down and back up. And throughout all that, it was I had lots of fun in my life, and it kind of made me spin all over the place. Um, but I would say that what made me decide to do this is I knew that what I had been doing wasn't working. I mean, it's the same. It's a saying or a bit of a cliche, whatever you want to say it, but if you keep on doing the same results, if you keep on doing
Mhm.
the same thing over and over again and you expect different results, and there's no reason behind that. I mean, you're
Yep.
always going to get what you always got if you're always putting in what you always did. Um, so I realized that I needed to make a change. I had a wedding that I was planning coming up later this year,
Yep.
and I knew that for my own sake, for the sake of my fiance, and for my kids too, I needed to be
Yeah.
healthier, both physically and I thought in my mind at the time just I need to focus on my physical health. But I realized that I needed so many more areas in my life that had room to grow and that I was able to grow because of the program. But yeah, I
Um,
realized that I needed to change. And actually, one of the big things about it was um, shortly before we had our first call, I ended up going to watch the movie The Forge, and I
mm,
saw that there was this like community of guys coming together in there. And I was like, I feel like if I had something like that, maybe it'd make it a little easier, but no, I can still do it on my own. I tried again and again. And then when we first started talking, I was like, oh, hey, this is exactly what they're talking about there. This is something I think I need to help me. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's a great segue into the next thing that I wanted to ask you is like,
Oh,
what was the experience of working with me like, and then also maybe the community at large? Because I know, especially as you've been in the program, I'd say the last 3, maybe 4 months, it's been focused a lot on the community side and what we're
yeah.
building. So maybe you can just share with everybody who might be watching online, like what that experience has been like, and then also how I am as a coach on the inside.
Yeah. The experience has been great. And I was going to say the last 3 or 4 months, we have really, it seems like you've had more of an effort put into the community building to and not just with the community too, but also more of an effort I feel like put into building up our spiritual relationships with God. And it's been great because it's been kind of a beginning the first couple months. It seems like there were some different things going on, and it there was a lot of focus put on just the we have our calls to talk about the physical wins, the spiritual wins, which are always great to share with one another. But being able to focus more so in the last few months on the spiritual side of it got to the point where we're talking about different devotionals and a lot of us picking up the same devotional and working through that, which has been great. And it's in the program, it's been wonderful. It's not what I necessarily thought was going to be at first, but I think it's more of what I needed than what I thought I was looking for. Because I feel like at times at the beginning I was thinking like, oh, this might be like a support group type thing almost, where we're
Mm.
coming in there and we're sharing different things and just like that. And there is an aspect of support through it, but the way that it's structured, we're able to come together like we do and to call out our wins in a certain way that just it's encouraging to hear other people sharing theirs and to be able to share your own. And you know, it's a small thing. I always make sure when we do our calls that I have it on the whole group so I can see everyone's faces. And you see other people's faces and people sharing their wins. And across the board, you see smiles coming across because we're all
Yeah.
happy and excited for each other. And it's
Amen.
been really amazing.
Yeah.
And as
Uh,
far as oh yeah, what?
I was gonna say it's interesting because what actually inspired me to put that emphasis on community, and we had it before, right? We had the Slack channel, we had group calls, but it wasn't where I felt it needed to be. And then I watched that same movie that you just described, The Forge, and I was like, yeah, we need to change things around here. And that's really when we put the spiritual emphasis. So it's just awesome to hear that you've seen the value in that. And I hope that's something that continues to build here. And I feel it will because it's been very evident the last couple of months that what God is doing here has been very special. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you're probably just
Oh
about to
no, no, you're
share
good.
all about
Yeah,
me, man. So spill the beans.
that's that's it. Yeah, I was going to talk about you, share all the dirty little secrets and stuff. No, it's been great having you, both you and David in the program, none of the coaches. It's been fantastic. Um, we've been at different times. I wasn't sure exactly again what to expect. Like we talked about it at the very beginning, and I knew there was gonna be some check-ins. We do our weekly check-ins, about twice a week check-ins actually,
Yeah.
and just having you there to be able to come out to. If I'm saying like, there's times when I tried doing some exercises that we had planned out, and I was like, hey, I feel like I can't do this. It's causing pain, and you were quick. Or like, oh, let's make a change. We'll get stuff set up for you right away. Just having someone that I could turn to like that if I had questions was amazing. And on top of that, too, something that I would say you were fantastic about is on our weekly check-in forms that we did. There was a spot in there where we had prayer requests, and anytime I put something different in there, you were always reaching out, be like, "Hey, man, how you doing? You know, you want to talk about it? We talked about it, and it was amazing to have that, just to have another level of the support there outside of just for the physical stuff. And so there's that, and also just in general the I guess on top of the reaching out with the prayer request thing too, and it wasn't even just that though. I feel like as the weeks went on, I was uploading daily my weights, my workouts were in there, and it felt like it was almost every week that I was getting a text from you saying like, "Oh, hey, I saw this going on there." Like if my weight was down a little bit, it was like,
Right.
"Oh, doing great, doing good." If my weight was up a bit, you'd be like, "Hey, man, don't worry about it." You kept on reminding me it's the game of averages, it's not a linear thing. And that was exactly what I needed during that. Just that little subtle reminders being like, hey, keep on doing the right thing. It's gonna work out. So
It's as if I'm in your pocket at all times. Trainer
that's what it was
24/7.
like.
Yeah, obviously, I sleep too. I'm not a robot, but in my waking hours, I do everything that I possibly can in my power to be there for the guys inside of the Physique Lab. And I pray that that continues, or even if this continues to scale, because at the rate that we're going, man, we're going to have a lot of people in here fast. And if that's the case, then I'm probably going to have to
Absolutely.
find a lot more Coach Davids to be able to help with all that. Because I don't just want anybody coming in here to feel like a number or a dollar sign or like they're not cared
Mhm.
for. And it sounds like that is so far from the case for you that you're like, hey, I actually appreciate the fact that we've been able to develop a personal relationship and that I'm there for you in those regards. And that's something I pray continues, man, because that really, I feel like, is what's going to set us apart from other fitness or even faith and fitness programs is like what we're doing in terms of building their interrelational stuff. So glad to hear
Mhm.
that. Another question I wanted to ask you, man, is like now that you're graduating from it, what would you say is like the biggest lifestyle change or takeaway from the program?
Let's see. The biggest lifestyle change. I think a simple part of it was just it seems like it's a small thing, but the way I view my calories and the macros and things, just the way I'm looking at nutrition, and it's just something that I kind of would see because I've used tracking apps before, I've done stuff before, and it was kind of deceiving at times. I think for this one, it's just what we did is so transparent and basic that like, oh, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can still work. It's get the numbers, the numbers equal this, and that equals this, and it works out. It's nice. You don't have to do like any sort of. I feel like you don't have to have an advanced degree just to figure out what we're doing, and
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. Um,
certainly not
on
rocket science.
yeah, on top of that, I think the other biggest lifestyle changes is just. I mean, one thing I mentioned before is before the program, I was really inconsistent with doing like a daily devotional. It was
Mhm.
something that I would pick up. I get a new book and I follow along with it for a week or two, maybe, or I did a week really good. The second week I do like 4 days, and then I was doing like once a week. And before long, I was just kind of back to living my own life, not even thinking about it. And through the encouragements through the program, I've been doing consistently, getting in the Word every day, praying more every day, and that's been an amazing side to affecting my life in that way. Um, but
So
I think the other biggest things are a few different things that I feel like either you said or we kind of came up with, they came out in our conversations that have stuck with me. I feel like are going to stick with me a long time to really help change some of the ways that I was viewing things. Because before the program, um, I was down on myself in a bad way. I mean, I was negative. I no self confidence, self esteem was rock bottom, and it had been for years. I mean, I would do great when I was having the temporary successes, and then something go wrong, and it just all crashed down time and time again. Each time I felt like it was worse, and I feel like there's nothing I could do that can get past those things. Through this, I've now, on top of the my spiritual walk growing, my relationship with God growing, which has changed the way I view myself in so many ways. There's also just these little things that kind of stuck out to me that I think have helped and we're going to continue to help me going forward. Where it is something that you said, even just this last weekend, was memories over macros. And I would get so set on following the numbers I had to follow. Like I knew I had to eat this many calories, couldn't eat more, that it would affect other areas of my life when stuff was happening. And I would end up getting so miserable about things that I would give in and just go to town. And then I realized once I did that, I was like, oh, I've already done this. What's the point even trying again? And I would just
yeah,
keep on whatever, keep on going with it. So it's the memories over macros because just because it's your going a little over one day doesn't mean that it's going to ruin the whole process because it's not linear as you said. It's averages. And the other thing that's really impacted my life in a huge way, and I know has also impacted my family a bit and my fiance, something my daughter said even to one of her therapists. She's she has an interesting relationship with food as well. It's something that it's also been on my mind a lot through this process, and this has helped me in the way that I can talk to her about things. Is she has a eating disorder called ARFID and super restrictive, and it's been a whole process her whole life trying to figure these different things out. She's a nutritional therapist and nutritionist, and since I've started the program, there's been growth from her as well because of I think seeing me follow what I'm saying she should be doing by doing stuff myself. I'm saying I'm doing this, I'm doing it. And so she's started to follow the same thing with it. And on top of that, it's just this little phrase at the very beginning that I feel like you said, or it came out somehow in a conversation that's discipline beats out motivation. And that is a huge thing to me because I realized once I realized that motivation is it's a feeling, it's almost like an emotion. And
yep,
I know not always in control of all my own emotions, my feelings, that stuff happens and it affects me. And the fact that I can work at and make a conscious choice toward discipline, it, that's not something that's outside of my control. I can keep on making that choice. Whereas something could happen and my brain chemistry could get all screwy and my motivation could just be gone. And like, oh, if I don't have any motivation, why am I going to do this? Or if I have the discipline, I can make the choice. Even when I have no motivation at all, even when things seem to be going crazy or horrible, I can make the choice to follow along with the discipline. And
absolutely.
that's been a huge thing. And she repeated that phrase to her nutritional therapist. She was
Awesome.
like, he's like, so what's your motivation for trying this? She's like, oh, I'm not trying to be motivated. I want to be disciplined. And I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, like that's my girl. So yeah,
Come on. Yeah, dude. There's so many amazing wins in there and so many lifestyle takeaways and just like down to the daughter, growing your relationship with Christ, consistency and devotionals, all these things. And that's what I'm so passionate about doing is like turning men into leaders and leading by example because there's no way in the heck your daughter would be doing those things if you were not taking those actions as well, right? And that's like a simple reason of why I do something like posting my devotional every day on my story, posting my Bible time every day on my story. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn, but essentially, like, I will not ask you guys to do anything that I'm not doing myself. But if I can lead as an example, that means you guys can start doing it and lead by example to those around you. And really, what I'm after is like that ripple effect, man, because now you
Mhm.
just changed a generation. Your daughter's going to grow
Yeah.
up with that mindset, and that's going to get passed to your grandkids and their
Hmm.
grandkids and so on and so forth. And like, dude, that gets me jazzed up. So thanks for sharing. I know that that was a win I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen in any of the check-in forms just yet.
Yeah.
Um,
That was early on too that happened. It's something that's been kind of riding on in my mind since then. It's been great.
Yeah, we need to get some t-shirts that say those things. Discipline over motivation and memories over macros, because those are certainly two sayings that people will hear me say around here. So, one more
Yeah.
question for you, man. Like, let's say someone has come across my Instagram page. Maybe we're having a conversation in the DMs. Maybe they found me on like YouTube or TikTok, whatever it might be. They're somewhat familiar with the Physique Lab. Maybe they've even had a call with me to learn about the Physique Lab, but they're hesitant. They're on the fence. Maybe they're scared of making the investment. Maybe they have a fear of failure as far as committing to it and not getting the result. I guess like what type of words would you have to that type of person who is a little bit hesitant about joining the Physique Lab?
I mean, the easiest thing to say would be just do it. Take the step, take the leap, however you want to word it. But more than that, it's an investment in yourself. And being able and willing to invest in yourself is such a huge thing. That's at the beginning. At the beginning, early on, I was regretting it about the first 5 minutes after our call. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should have did this. No, what does it mean for this? What does it mean for this? Like, I always had that kind of buyer's remorse whenever I do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, I kind of tell myself I made the decision, and the fact that I took the step, I think, is what pushed me to keep on going. Because if it was just a like, oh, I'm going to start following this plan that I found myself. I'll just take
Yeah.
care of, do it. There was no aspect of investment in there. I didn't have any skin in the game or anything. And being able to take that leap, the step of faith, even just to say like, no, I'm going to dedicate at the bare minimum these next 6 months. And I told myself, I'm like, all right, if this is horrible, if I hate this, I'm going to do 6 months. And then I'll be like, all right, I can go back to my life. If I want to, I can go back to the way I lived. I was really hoping I wasn't going to want to. I was hoping I wasn't
Yeah.
going to be miserable. But I told myself, like, worst case, if this is horrible, I'll find something else. I'll do something else. But I think that was part of it. Just having that thing. I said, like, okay, 6 months. I can do 6 months. It's good. Um, Made a big impact. Just take the step, take the leap, and invest in yourself and your future, your family, your relationships. Because when you're investing in doing this, you're joining the Physique Lab. You are taking a step to, as you just said a minute ago, you're impacting generations through what you're doing. And I mean, at the opportunity to do that, why are we balking? Why are we hesitating?
Amen. Yeah, I feel like if anybody could have been qualified to make some like quote unquote excuses, it could have been you. Like, yeah, dude, I'm planning a wedding. Like, I got stuff going on in the near future. Like, but that's when people start falling into that perfect time fallacy and they fall into that trap. It's like, dude, if I could reach to the screen and like politely shake you and tell you that there's never a perfect time and like
Hmm.
investing into yourself is worth it, absolutely.
Hmm.
And I feel like at this point, the Physique Lab has a pretty proven track record as far as client success stories. Or like, dude, if you come into the program, like you obviously are, you're another testimonial that we can add to YouTube. It's like if you come in and you give us your all, we will show up as coaches and give you our all. And if both of us are fighting full steam ahead, like, dude, sky is the limit. So I'm really proud of you for drawing that line in the sand, for taking action, for investing in yourself and sticking with it, dude. Like, no doubt the enemy is going to come after you if you invest into
Hmm.
this program. Sounds like for you, it was 5 minutes after. For some guys, it might be 5 days or 2 weeks, whatever it is. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, of course, the enemy doesn't want people to become in shape men of God and grow in their faith and all these kind of stuff.
yeah,
But I'm really proud of you and all the results that you've achieved over the last 6 months. And I look forward to watching your journey over the next couple of months as well. We can wrap it
yeah.
up there, but I guess any other like last words for someone who might be watching the video or feel like you've said everything you need to say?
I mean, I feel like I said most of the stuff that I was thinking there at the end there, but no, the last words would be just go for it. I mean, it's the support that you have inside the program, the as Tyler said, being you have your coach, you have someone that you can talk to about this stuff on call almost 24/7. They're going to get back to you. If you reach out, they're going to get back. And be able to have that with a group of guys that you can join together with and just grow alongside of and have the support from and support them in turn. it's an amazing opportunity that I think anyone that is on the fence should absolutely jump and take.
There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing all about his time inside of the Physique Lab coaching program. I don't have much else prepared for you today, but before we part ways, I do want to give you two quick reminders. The first one is that down in the video description, there is going to be a link to a video that breaks down the Physique Lab coaching program in excruciating detail and tells you everything you could possibly want to know about how things work and how we're able to get guys like him such amazing results. The second reminder is that down in the video description, there will also be a link to my calendar. So if you're interested in chatting one-on-one directly with me or someone from my team to learn about how you can get started inside of the Physique Lab coaching program, that is going to be the best way to do it. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and turn those notification bells on so you don't miss when I post new videos. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.